Well, good day, our friends. It's your old pal Jordan the Lion and the beautiful Katie.
Hello.
And we are in Las Vegas today, and we are here at the Crystal to see a very special exhibit. It's Diana and the Royals. So I believe it's a lot of her clothing and her belongings, and we're going to show you and check it out today. So Daze with Jordan the Lion, Katie, and you all. It begins right now. Here it is. Let's go on in. There's a young Diana. Born into British nobility, Diana is the fourth of 5 children, hoping for a son to carry on the family name. She is not named for a week until the family settles on Diana Frances, a many times great aunt who was prospective Princess of Wales. From her earliest days, Diana led with a warmth of spirit that was unrivaled and unforgettable. Book signed by Charles Spencer. They have some photos of her from her youth here. Talking about how her parents separated in 1967. She would go live with her father after a nasty custody battle. She attended Silfield School, Riddlesworth Hall, West Heath. That's Diana's home. Stately home, the Althorpe House. Her family lived there for over 5 centuries, passing down through 19 generations. The original house mansion sits on the estate of 13,000 acres and goes back to Henry VIII. And then here's their Norfolk house. Katie noticed they mentioned right here that she is indeed buried at the Althorpe estate, but it's very private. It's like a little oval island on the family estate that only the family is allowed to go visit. That is Earl Spencer's chair. And it says it's signed. And here you can see a young Diana to the right. Well, you learn something new every day. There's photos here of Charles and Sarah Spencer, and it says that Diana's older sister dated Charles before Diana. This is Diana's parents' wedding photos. This wall is adorned with writing of Diana's from when she was in school, and they have some of her school books and letters. This was her French workbook. This is her childhood book, Dear Brutus, and she actually has signed it up there on the inside. Diana Spencer. And same with this one. If you look right at the very top, she's written her name inside the book. And here they have one of her books also, and they took out a page where she had written her name inside of it. World's most eligible bachelor. So the section that Katie's looking at are different love notes from Charles to different girlfriends. These letters are to a Canadian girlfriend that he had in Montreal named Janet Jenkins. And here's one of his Christmas cards with his name signed onto it. So when we get to Diana's section, it says that at the age of 18, she moved to a London flat which she shared with 3 friends, and that's when she became a working girl. So she was a youth dance instructor, she was a house cleaner, a nanny, and a nursery teacher's assistant, and said it was amongst the happiest time of her life. So here they're talking about in the summer of 1980 when they got together and saw each other again. It says, from Diana to Prince Charles, you looked so sad when you walked up the aisle at Lord Mountbatten's funeral. It was the most tragic thing I'd ever seen. My heart bled for you when I watched. I thought, it's wrong, you're lonely, you should be with somebody to look after you. And then here's a handwritten note from Charles asking to bring Diana to polo on Buckingham Palace stationery. And here they're talking about their first date, Diana being invited to attend a performance of Verdi with 20 minutes notice. She joined Charles abroad for the second date. And the third date, she visited the royal family. She was 19 and Charles was 32. And 13 dates later, they were married. It was 1981, of January of 81, Prince Philip asked Charles to propose to Diana. Early February, Charles did propose in the nursery at Windsor Castle. Here's a photo of the engagement and this beautiful sapphire ring that she got. 12-carat sapphire surrounding by 14 solitaire diamonds. So here they're talking about the engagement dress that she had that just stunned the world and that she was seen in, and they actually have an art piece where someone remade the dress out of paper and they have it on display here. And Katie noticed off to the side that you can touch what the dress would feel like, but that is an exact recreation of her dress just made out of paper. First wedding at St. Paul's Cathedral since 1501. Wow. Look at the crowd. Oh, wow. Look at that. Another art piece of Diana's wedding dress. Looks exactly like it. It says over here that you can actually go walk on the train. 4 people at a time, but you can come out here and walk. Not weird. Kind of a weird experience, but I don't think anybody's noticed that since we've been here. We're the first ones to walk on it. So even though they're not the authentic dresses, they're pretty amazing to see. What do you think of it? I mean, considering you couldn't probably get all the original stuff here.
I mean, the details are done with like painstaking, like accuracy, even down to the enormous train, which you could even walk out on. And they said in the descriptions that you would be surprised that it was just like very simple pattern papers and like giant rolls of white paper that they used. And it's just amazing what they could put together.
Here they have some of the information on her dress, made of silk taffeta. Gown has the longest train in royal history at 25 feet. Wedding dress was beaded with 10,000 pearls. The Spencer tiara had been in Diana's family for almost a century. This is the average wedding dress. Weighs 6 pounds, but hers weighed 20. The wedding dress was the sparking of Diana mania. And that is fabric from their wedding. Dress fabric. Dress lining fabric. Gold bridesmaid dress fabric. There's a picture of Diana's wedding shoes with the material that made them. And then they have an art piece of them. Recreation. And here's a wedding photo, and she's actually signed the bottom of it. These are original bridesmaid flowers. This is a locket that was gifted to one of her bridesmaids by Diana. It actually says from Diana in that little. Then here are the bridesmaid and page boy outfit recreations. Since obviously they couldn't get the real ones for this. So that bridesmaid dress belonged to this little girl. She was 11 years old, and she was Diana's horse trainer's daughter, and she was very close to her. So this is her bracelet also. And that locket was hers that we saw. And this was her official invite. It says the Lord Chamberlain is commanded by the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh to invite Miss Sarah Jane Gasilli to the marriage of His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales with the Lady Diana Spencer in St. Paul's Cathedral. Here was a bride doll. That kind of shows you how long her train was. And then over here, Princess Margaret's wedding note. Katie was admiring this corroded piece of wedding cake. I was telling her, I thought, if I remember right, when I was a kid, there was an episode of Night Court, or one of those shows where someone was trying to buy a piece of the wedding cake and then it ends up getting eaten at the end. And that looks like a cake holder, actually. This is kind of a nice display. These are all the Queen's wedding dresses on figurines. So you have everything from Queen Victoria, Queen Alexandria, Queen Elizabeth, who was the Queen Mother, Queen Elizabeth II, Princess Diana, all of their wedding dresses, and you can decide which one you like better. This being Queen Victoria's, Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, who was married to King George VI. And I'll get a lot of hate if I don't show Kate Middleton's. Catherine Middleton, April 29th, 2011. Here's the royal honeymoon, what she wore on the honeymoon. And they have a drawing of the dress she's wearing with the actual same pattern. William Arthur Philip Louis Mountbatten Windsor. And then over here is Henry Charles Albert David Mountbatten Windsor. Mummy first and dearest, it says Diana, intent on giving her boys a normal life. Bucks Royal tradition. She bought 9-month-old William, took him on a royal tour, dropped the kids off at school herself, took public transportation with them, and snuck them into the movies. She loved her sons with all of herself. This is Wasn't that wallet with a D on it was Diana's. And this is a tea set that Charles would gift important members of people that worked for him, his staff and things like that. There's a note from Diana. Then on this wall they kind of detail the falling apart of their marriage. How Diana finds out about Camilla, confronts her in 1989. She visits the Taj Mahal alone in 1992 and announces that she's writing a tell-all book. So here this looks like this is the actual barbecue dress. The dress that she wore to the barbecue, and they have a kind of a fascinating detailed story on the plaque over here about it, stating some of the controversy of her wearing it and everything. It says Diana made a statement when she chose to wear this Klondike dress from the historical drama series Lily to a Klondike-style barbecue at Fort Edmonton Park in Canada. Lily Langtry was a mistress of Charles' great-grandfather, the scandalous King Edward VII. One of his many mistresses was an ancestor to Camilla Parker Bowles. But it doesn't say that it's a recreation or anything, and it says it's on loan from Mike Smith, so it does appear they do say Diana's authentic Klondike dress. This room looks interesting. They have a bench in here. Wedding gift from Highgrove neighbors. When they married, their Highgrove neighbors gifted Charles and Diana this custom wrought iron bench featuring their initials. Oh yeah, the C and the D right there. With the hearts and everything. That's nice. Couple displayed the bench in their garden at Highgrove. Says this might be the only wedding gift owned outside the private family. Wow. Here's a book on the Highgrove estate, the gardens where it would have been. And that was a commemorative urn for their wedding. Here's a watercolor quilt of Diana. And these are her personal letters. It says that her father used to sit down every Christmas and birthday to write her thank you letters. Within 24 hours, became such an ingrained habit, she could never go to bed without putting her thoughts and appreciation to paper right away. These personal letters offer a portal to Diana's most intimate thoughts and feelings. This is a 1997 sculpture of Diana. It was made after her death. The artist said he felt compelled to honor her in some way. Oh wow, these are Queen Victoria's clothes. She was the second longest reigning British monarch, serving for 63 years. And here we have a nightgown and chair that belonged to Alexandra, Queen Alexandra, Edward VII's wife. And then this belonged to Queen Mary, who was the wife of George V, King George V. So these are, so when Edward VIII relinquished his throne, he did it so he could be with Wallis Simpson. And these are all Wallis Simpson's artifacts, who was the Duchess of Windsor. A lot of people did not like that move. A lot of people didn't like her. And that's Wallis Simpson right there. Her oriental jacket, it says. That was crazy because he was very well loved. He was like a media darling when he was the king. Here's one of her handbags. And her parasol. The Queen Mother's handbag. You have a photo of her going through it. Here she is celebrating her 80th birthday. I said, did you know the royal family should never be touched by non-royals unless they offer their hand first? It's a Christmas card. Let's see what we have in here. Queen Elizabeth with the Fords. Well, this is when they hosted the Ford family at Buckingham Palace. That looks like Bob Hope as well. You're talking the royals, you can't forget Grace Kelly. Some of her clothing in here. Silver jeweled matching jacket and dress. She was the Princess of Monaco. Here's her fur coat. And her gloves. Actually, that's a mink coat. And they have her wedding photo here. Prince Rainier. That's showing Queen Elizabeth II's death. At the age of 73, Charles is the longest serving heir apparent and the oldest person to ascend to the British throne. And of course, kind of crazy that the person he was having an affair with, he would end up marrying. But he did. The Duke and Duchess of Cornwall. Oh, this is neat. Look at this. Recreation of the gates from when Diana passed. Westminster Abbey. 2,000 people attended Diana's service. There are her kids looking at all the flowers and letters. Elton John retitled and rewrote his song Candle in the Wind to not be about Marilyn Monroe any longer, and he changed the lyrics to be about Diana. Here are the authentics. 6 authentic Princess Diana dresses here. Do my best to stay out of your way so you can enjoy them and give you the best view without getting a reflection. These are her hats. those pieces of paper are Diana's handwritten hair appointment schedules. When she used to... Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that. Katie noticed that some of them say tiara, so she would have to get her hair done specifically for certain looks. What's that? Looks like it says Sheba? Not sure what that says. Here they have her famous black sheep sweater, and it says the original warm and wonderful sweater from 1980 was part of a movement kicked off by Diana when she was spotted wearing one to a polo match, making it a wardrobe staple. Each sweater is handmade and takes approximately 6 hours to complete. Therefore, the exact placement of the sheep and other details may vary slightly from sweater to sweater. I did notice when we were walking through the gift shop to come in, they do have some for sale in there. I'll show you. Different costumes that she wore, different dresses. Small scale. It's all the way around the room. They even highlighted her ball gowns and special events. Yeah, Katie said, I know that this one's called the Elvis dress because the collar, and sure enough, she's right. It says over there, I didn't even notice it, but real small if you look. Katie, you know your stuff, no doubt about that. It's a good thing we didn't bring Scott Michaels with us. He would have probably knocked all these over. He did at the Liberace exhibit. That takes up the whole wall. And then there's a photo of her sons. Blue silk suit, it says. Here's a microphone signed by Michael Jackson to the family. Here's Harry's wedding to Meghan. And they do have a figurine of that, as well as a replica of her tiara that she wore. And over here, this looks like this was probably Kate Middleton's, because it's in the Kate section. And they also have this. So it says at the close of the freshman year, Kate dons a sheer black and gold dress for charity fashion show. William, who pays $275 for a front row seat, turns to his friend and whispers, "Wow, Fergus, Kate's hot." It's known as the Kate St. Andrews dress. It was modeled for St. Andrews University fashion show. It says the revealing dress that melted Prince William's heart as paraded down the runway. Dr. Carroll has dubbed Kate the quintessential good girl who used bad girl secrets to catch her prince. And here they have another one of her dresses. The William and Kate's wedding procession horseshoe right there. And have another wedding invitation. Picture of their cake right there, their wedding cake, and Kate's tiara. right at the end of the exhibit, we get this for heading into the gift shop. So once you make it out the gift shop, you can buy the clothing that I mentioned, as well as a lot more Diana stuff if you're interested. So it says that if you buy the Virgin Atlantic sweatshirt, which Diana is wearing in this picture, $60, and it looks like the red sweaters are $2.95 and the pink are $1.75. If somebody's wondering and wants one, contact the exhibit. Well, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this vlog today. That was quite an exhibit. First, I was starting to wonder because we went in, we were seeing those recreations in paper, which were cool, but yes, you do, as you go along, you do see real royal worn and real royal handwritten notes, and they have legit stuff here, so it's worth it. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a great night, and goodbye.